Good morning. Welcome to my talk, Is Bitcoin a Good Investment? First, I'd like to thank my boy Sonny for making a web page for me. For all the people who can't get enough of me on my wife's Facebook page, just go to YouTube and type in Dr. D's Media Minute, and you can binge watch me like episodes of The Office. Last week's talk motivated Derek M. to ask about cryptocurrencies. So today I'll give you my 2 bits about Bitcoin. As an aside, in early America, a bit was the name for coins that were worth 1/8 of a peso, or about 12.5 cents. So 2 bits equals a quarter. Used to be a song called Shave and a Haircut, 2 bits, I remember. Over the next couple of weeks, I'll do a brief overview of the subject. This is fairly technical material, which I know very little about. So if I make a mistake, I'd appreciate hearing from you. For instance, in last week's talk, I forgot about Tesla's 5-to-1 stock split. It's a small matter, but instead of an original $10,000 investment being worth $480,000, like I said, in actual fact, it's worth $1.8 million. But what's $1.3 million between friends? Derek's question was about cryptocurrencies in general, but since there's one coin that dominates the field, I will talk mostly about one coin, Bitcoin. What does a Bitcoin look like? Look at the top of the page there, Mama. That's what one Bitcoin looks like.
Is it real, like a coin?
Yeah. They're used for sort of like collector's items. You've probably heard of Bitcoin. You probably are unclear about what they are or what they do. So I hope in today's Monday morning Media Minute, I will give you at least 25 cents worth of understanding. It's generally accepted that someone named Satoshi Nakamoto created Bitcoin. In August of 2008, the domain name bitcoin.org was first registered. 2 months later, someone calling themselves Satoshi Nakamoto published a paper titled Bitcoin, a peer-to-peer electronic cash system. This paper is the first time Mr. Nakamoto's name appeared on the internet related to any cryptocurrency. Mr. Nakamoto has never spoken publicly, or has been seen in person, or has even been identified officially. On January 3 of 2009, the phantom Nakamoto implemented the Bitcoin software and mined what is now called the Genesis block of Bitcoin, for which he received 50 Bitcoins as a reward. Then the price of a single Bitcoin was basically zero. Actually, it was worth 0.0008 cents. You could have bought all the Bitcoins that will ever exist for $16,800. Now one is worth over $57,000. The mysterious creator of Bitcoin is just sitting on more than 2.5 million in an electronic wallet, totally untapped. As recently as November of 2018, the price of Bitcoin reached as low as $3,400. But now, just 27 months later, it commands the stunning price of over $57,000. I looked it up just before I wrote this today. Mr. Nakamoto set aside 1 million coins for himself, and his 1 million plus 50 coins can be seen in his untouched public wallet, which contains almost 6% of all the Bitcoins in circulation, and is now worth almost $60 billion. The strange thing is, he has never touched his stash. On April 23 of 2011, 2 years after launching Bitcoin, Nakamoto disappeared from the internet. He sent Bitcoin developer Mike Hearn an email saying he felt the future of Bitcoin was in good hands and he'd moved on to other things. Why would anyone ignore $60 billion, even if he'd moved on to better things? A simple solution is maybe he's already as wealthy as, let's say, Elon Musk. Or maybe he is Elon Musk. Or more likely, the father of Bitcoin is probably dead. In that case, his $60 billion is probably lost forever. A professor of finance at New York University, Aswath Damodaran, whatever, said he's not surprised by the creator's low profile. Quote, Bitcoin was designed by paranoid geeks for paranoid geeks. In March of 2010, when Bitcoin was selling for less than a penny, a trader calling himself Smoke Too Much held an auction for 10,000 Bitcoins. All he was asking was $50. No bidders came forward. As I write this, Bitcoin is selling for just over $57,000. So this $10,000 coins that he was trying to get $50 for is now worth $570 million. What makes something valuable? Picture 2, down here at the bottom. Over a century ago, the third baseman for the Philadelphia Athletics led the American League in home run 3 years in a row. John Franklin Baker never hit more than 12 home runs in a season, and for his entire 13-year career, he only hit 96 round trippers. At auction today, Home Run Baker, as he's called, his baseball card would probably sell for about, less than $100. The question is, what makes something valuable? This top picture is Honus Wagner. He was in 1875, tobacco companies started placing cardboard in their cigarette packs to make them stiffer. They placed likenesses of sports figures on the cards to help increase sales. In 1909, Honus Wagner, the best shortstop in baseball, played for the Pittsburgh Pirates. Wagner thought it was a bad idea to be associated with tobacco company, so he threatened to sue the American Tobacco Company if they didn't stop selling cigarette packs with his likeness in them. Most players' pictures are on tens of thousands of cards, but production for Wagner cards was ended so that only around 50 cards were made. Today there are very few of them around, and only 3 of them are in best condition. So in 1991, Wayne Gretzky, that's right, the great one, decided to invest in a mint condition Honus Wagner card for $451,000.
Do you want me to put it to the second picture?
Okay, now we can go to the next picture. This next picture at the bottom of the page showed him associated with tobacco. Now this is what he didn't like. There was about 16 tobacco companies that were using likenesses of athletes in their cigarette packs. This bottom one is called the Jumbo Wagner card because it's slightly larger than the other card. There was an error in cutting of that card, and they made it a little bit too big. But that's driven up the value of the card. The one that was at the top was actually trimmed by a specialist named Bill Mastro. But trimming the card causes it to be about 90% less valuable.
Oh dear.
And so Bill Mastro sold this card for a lot of money, and a lawsuit ensued. He was convicted. Bill Mastro is a convicted baseball card trimmer. He was sentenced to 20 months in federal prison plus a $250,000 fine. Card trimmer Bill, as I call him, had been looking at 5 years but took a plea deal and cooperated with investigators in other trimming cases. So why is one of those pieces of cardboard worth less than $100 and another worth $1.2 million? They're pieces of cardboard. Scarcity is one reason, but a card doesn't have to be old to be worth a fortune. This is something you're not going to believe. This is the best player in baseball right now. His name's Mike Trout. In 2018, a Mike Trout 2009 rookie card sold for $400,000. Last year, someone set a new record, paying almost 10 times that amount, almost $4 million for that same card. How have Bitcoin become so valuable? A creative feature designed into Bitcoin that makes it attractive to investors is its inherent scarcity. Its total circulation is strictly capped at 21 million coins. Once you get there, they can't make any more. As governments worldwide print trillions of dollars in paper money not backed by anything of real value, having something that can't be diluted and therefore inflated is a desirable commodity. Not that Bitcoin has much real value either. It's essentially a very speculative series of ones and zeros that 99% of its holders don't actually use. But that's going to change. Next time we're going to talk about the change that's going to come. But basically, Bitcoin is not an official anything. It's an experimental currency in development. Its price swings unpredictably due to its illiquid market. Keeping savings in Bitcoin would be foolhardy, even reckless. It's a high-risk asset. Never store money that you cannot afford to lose in Bitcoin. Starting at less than a penny in 2009, by 2011, Bitcoin first hit $1. 2013 it became around 15 and ended around 80. That's a 53 times in 1 year. If you thought, I think I'm going to invest in that right then, that next year you would have lost 70% of your money. It is risky. Next time I will continue with the Bitcoin story, and then in 2 weeks I'll try to answer Derek's question about, is it a good investment, or how can it be a good investment? Have a good day.